So, I'm about to do this review on the first episode of Them, the drama series created by Marvel Little Black Man, executive producer, and white black woman. And I could have watched this episode at the perfect time because the first episode kind of reflects on what happened recently in my state. And the incident you probably know with Johnathan Pentland, Johnathan bald-head white man who harassed a young black man in a young black man's neighborhood. Why? We don't really know. You know, of course we think it's racially fueled because it's a white man messing with a young black man, you know, harassing him. But we don't really know the context. All I know is you shouldn't be messing with him in the first place. Leave him alone. If there's someone that does not live in my neighborhood walking around, I don't care as long as you're not at my door or acting creepy like you're about to do something. But your skin, your clothes does not have nothing to do with what you're doing. It doesn't. And he harassed him. But yeah, show proof that it happened around the same time. Look at that. It says April 15 if you can't see it. You see it if you have good eyes. Anyways, yeah. And I showed up and shouted out with my fellow black people outside that man's house. I'm gonna throw up some pictures. You saw the pictures. I was there and it felt good. It felt good. Because, no. And we were out at that white man's house, outside that white man's house, just like how the white people were outside of this family's house in the first episode. Yes, that's how I jumped into it. Yes, because this show shows how white people did not want black people to be in the neighborhood. Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna be good. And also, I am going to kind of unpack. I'm getting tired of this camera. It's not even the camera, it's the lens. I had to do manual focus because this camera does not know how to focus at once, so I had to do manual focus. Okay. Anyways, yeah. With this show, I'm gonna unpack just what circulated around, just real quick, before I even jump into the episode. Yeah, so basically they said that it's like Jordan Peele, the ripoff. I see some people saying it's like a ripoff of Jordan Peele, Get Out, and Us. Even though I'm on the first episode, because I'm just watching this series, and I'm going to review each episode, I feel like if it is inspired, I can kind of see the elements. I do see the elements, but since it is, in a way, inspired, probably from his movies, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that, as long as it's not completely like doing like things that he did in his films. Because like he did something about doppelgangers, and doppelgangers is one of the best things, one of the best horror elements. Oh my gosh, best horror elements in the horror realm, and I want to do something on that too. I said, Jordan Peele already did that, and this is my writing, and that's how I see it. So is like old timey, and it's in a old setting, because America is a horror story. It is within itself, and having horror elements inside of it. You can already see that in the first episode. So I'm gonna jump into the first episode. So Olivia Emery. It already starts off looking good. I like shows that have the cinematography type of look to it, like it's a film look. I always love shows like that, because you can tell the difference if it's a show, like it's like a show look, and there's like cinematography film looks, and that's how this show looks, and that's how certain shows look. And say, is this a movie? No, it's a show. But anyways, yeah, it starts off with Olivia Emery with her son, and this random white lady, she hears this random white lady outside. I was like, why are you here? But of course she's nice about it. She's like, what's up? She's playing with Livia's dog. White lady said, oh yeah, she seems nice at first, but I I know she has something going on. Like, why are you here on this land? Why? Kind of reminds me of just white people who are prejudiced or just think they're like on top of the world. Just, like, you think that you own this part of something that you don't own in general. The Karens, the Darrens, the whatever. Anyways, she's playing, and I already could tell she's gonna get creepier. And then she starts talking to her, and Olivia's creeped out. She's like, no, I ain't with this. No. She just go. And then she starts singing this melody. The white lady, this old white lady, starts singing this melody. I forgot the words. And then she's like, black. And just like, she enunciated the black. She even had the tongue black. And then Olivia's like, this lady need to go. And then, you know, she's already in her business talking about where's your husband? And she's like, how do you know? Oh, my husband is with my 2 daughters, but you need to go. And then the baby started crying inside the house, and the white lady's like, I want him. And that kind of falls into, you know, like that Get Out type of scene where, you know, how they kidnapped the black guy in the beginning of Get Out, and he just was owned by this white woman. That's basically, that's the vibes it gave me. And then she's like, no, you're not gonna do that. She ran aside, and then this weird thing happened. It was like, choo, choo, choo. And then that's when, scene. So that was the first thing. And then it just goes into the intro, and then it goes into them driving to the new house they're supposed to go to. So basically, Henry Emery, he's an engineer, and they're moving into the new place. And in the beginning, you see this white woman across the street. Let me look up her name. I only remember black people's names. But yeah, Elizabeth, the white woman, the hateful white woman. She's like, oh, so someone's moving into the house. Ooh, okay, he finally sold it. Real estate agent was like, get out of my face. Get out of my face. And basically, you already know where it's gonna go from there. They're thinking that some other, you know, clean white family's gonna move in there. But no, it's the Emerys, the hood black family. The reason why I said hood is because you could tell the first episode, they don't take no shit. No shit. Not at all. But yeah, he's like, oh, okay. Finally, you sold that house. And then they're driving, and then they roll up into the neighborhood. Yep, they're looking out. All these hateful white people looking at them, and they're like, not paying them attention. Henry's all excited, and you know, Olivia's like, you can already tell she's uncomfortable and everything. And yeah, basically they roll up into the driveway of their new house, and Elizabeth and her little white biddies behind her, like, okay, they're in the house. They're like, okay, let's see. Lizzie gets a phone call. You can already tell just by her face. She's like, and then the white women are out by the window, like, and yeah, then they walk out from the car, and they're black. Oh Lord, they're black. They're black. And yeah, so basically they're all just surrounding, just like, okay, this is awkward. And they go inside and talk to the real estate agent, and this is where you kind of see like the creep factor of it. The dog is by the door. It senses something in the basement. Ooh, woo. And yeah, I forgot to mention Gracie, the little girl, their daughter, the youngest one. She reads this book, and I know that there's something amiss with this book, the lady in the book, because this book is telling her what to do. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, on the contract it says something about no Negro blood. Olivia's like, oh my god, why didn't you say anything? And Henry knew. It's like, you knew. And the real estate agent, I'm like, this real estate agent wanted to sell this house. She wanted to sell this house. She was getting broke. She wanted to sell this house. She's like, you know what? I'm not like them. I'll sell to anybody. No one's buying this house. I'll sell it to you though. I'll sell it to you. It says no Negro blood. That's old news. You guys can live here now. Duh. But Olivia was like, oh no. Oh no. Henry's like, it'll be alright, baby. It'll be alright. No, it's not alright. as it gets dark, these white people, it shows montages of this white people just looking out, you know, just, and then, you know, like, she's looking out the window and she's just like, oh, these crackers, and then she's like, you know what, you see her loading those bullets. I was like, okay, she ain't gonna take nothing, because that's right, girl, that's right, you ain't gonna take nothing from them. She's loading those bullets. Henry's like, what you doing, baby? She's like, I'm loading these bullets, these crackers outside her house. That's what it's, you know, that's what she said in the show. These crackers outside the house. Yeah, I'm gonna protect my family. Henry's like, okay, it's okay. It's like, but do you want to move back to where it was bad? We need a new start. And then she's like, okay. But no, I'll bust a cap and down. Anyways, yeah. And then, you know, you can just tell they're just, and then the next day, they're just all getting ready to sit outside the Emery's house. Because and then blasting music, it's like, you guys ready to annoy these black people? These colours? And, yeah, and then Henry's looking outside the window and is like, this bitch. And they're all like congregated like in front of the house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it reminds me of all these, like, they're all Karens just outside the house, all Karens, because Karens don't have no life. They have to find something to get into. They do. And it's just like, oh my gosh, look at all these Karens, just like, and yeah, basically they're annoyed, of course, and she, you know, Olivia takes the daughters to school. She has to go out the backyard. It's like, this is the last time I'm doing this. And Henry goes to work. He's an engineer. Black excellence, you know. And, you know, when he walks into that building, she's like, the receptionist is on the phone, and he's like, excuse me. She's like, kitchen is downstairs, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, excuse me, I want to see the man in the engineering department. She's like, kitchen is downstairs. I'm like, bitch, can you not hear? He's saying this, and he's saying it politely. We don't have to say stuff politely to y'all. Like that. She's like, and then after she hangs up, and, you know, this, you know, other guy comes up. He's from Snowfall. Whew. Had to look him up. Kevin. I'm not gonna say anything if you haven't watched Snowfall. If you want to watch Snowfall, go ahead. But Kevin from Snowfall. But anyways, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, you know, just follow me. And because he basically said, yeah, I'm an engineer. She's like, black excellence. That's what it is. And he just goes into his office, and of course they're looking at him. Black excellence. Look at it. It's shining. Dummies. But anyways, yeah, and goes back to Olivia. And Olivia is she's chilling. But she's aggravated because these Karens won't stop. They just won't stop. They have nothing better to do but cook pies and look at black people next door so they can move out. And basically, she's like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. You can see how frustrated she's getting. And then there's this scene where she's talking to her daughter, Gracie. And Gracie's still talking about this. It's like Vera says, and, you know, she's like, you know, it's just a book, you know. And then she asked her to sing a song. Yeah, but show me what you learned, baby girl. She started singing the song that the white lady from the beginning of the show was singing. She's like, black! And she was doing it, and she's like, no, stop! And she was getting flashbacks, and it's like red, and it just keeps going like in and out from like this red. Like, it just looks like that's another element that could be like us, because it's like double version of her daughter Gracie. It was flipping back and forth. So it's from her regular daughter, just with the regular singing, and then red, and then you can see like her face change and everything. It's like, and she's still singing the song. She's like, stop it! And then it goes to red. She slaps. No, because Gracie says something. She says, it's like why? And then she's like, I told you about that. It's like she said something about stupid. I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. But Gracie's like, stupid. That's when she slapped her. And then it goes like, it's red, and then it goes back to red and sling. And then she's like, whew. She's like, oh, you know, it's like, Mom, it's like something about her being crazy. And I'm thinking that like something's happened beforehand that kind of like made it seem like that made her go crazy at one point, because the daughter made a comment and I was like and then she was hugging herself, I'm sorry baby girl, and yada yada yada, and I'm like, okay, now we see the horror elements of the show. And then it goes to the scene with the Whiteys, Elizabeth and the Karen gang, and they're just talking about how they want them out the neighborhood. Like, you guys don't have nothing better to do. And you know, it just shows me how like racist and prejudiced are. Like, if I'm going about my day, it's like, let me pretend like I'm a prejudiced white person that's going by your day. That's really prejudiced, really, because some of them can hide it well. And a black person coming up the street, oh man, I'm about to eat this steak I just got. Oh, she looked at me wrong. And, you know, of course it's not as animated as that, but like, you could tell. Yeah, just one wrong move, the black person gonna step on the tip of the shoe. Oh, you beep 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 beep. You color bastard. Anyways, yeah, they're just talking about plans of how to get them out. And then, you know, Elizabeth makes a point of what Henry was talking to Libby about. Like, you know, we have to amp it up because they came from something worse. So we have to make it worse for them. How about that? The little Karen's And, you know, the men are in another room talking about the same thing. And they're talking about, like, killing the dog, because Elizabeth's husband was like, oh, let's put some thumbtacks in the driveway, and they roll over the thumbtacks. Like, thumbtacks? Really? You know I ain't about that. Because back in that time, they did way more to black people. That is so, it angers me. Anyways, but yeah, it's like, thumbtacks? No, we have to kill the dog. You have to kill the dog. And then he was like, okay. Okay. And then this is where we get into the part where it's Gracie, the little girl. And that's where the horror is amped up. She thinks her mom is in the living room, but it's not her mom. It is some creature walking towards her like this. And she's like, Mama, it's not your mom, little girl. I knew it. The scene is so dark though, I'm like, what is going on? But I'm like, you know what? This is probably Vera from the book. It's probably Vera. She probably crawled out that basement. Yeah. I know it's symbolism for something else too. And then she grabs her throat. She comes up and grabs her throat. Grabs little Gracie's throat. And yeah, the next morning, the mom comes in the room, wakes both of the daughters up, and then notice on Gracie's neck a scar. Oh no! Oh no! Who did it to you? Who did it to you? And then she's husband came running in. What's wrong? Someone's in our house. He was looking everywhere in the house. No one there. Then he looked in the basement. The basement was slightly ajar. He looked downstairs, and there's a dog. I always get sad when I see dead dogs, even though they're not really dead. I don't like it. And he said, don't come downstairs. And the daughter started crying, and the mom's like, oh, hell nah. She gets her gun. She runs out the house and says, hey. And nah. She runs out the house. She's waving around and starts, you bitches. She's do. And then you see the little white Karens come out the house. Because of course all the men are at their jobs, usually. And then you see Elizabeth. She looks so scared. And they're just like all looking at her in fear. She's like, oh. I'm like, go ahead, girl. Go ahead. You ain't gonna take none of their shit. None of them. None. Yeah, that's really the summary of the episode, you know. Skip some parts, but that's a summary of it. They want them out of the neighborhood. They're planning it. And you know it's gonna get amped up each episode. I feel it coming. And yeah, it was intense. And the last scene reminded me of how these racist white people are in real life. They will do anything in their problem, anything in their power to be in your business because they don't like you because of your skin color. Ooh. And they will fear you at the same time. You know those little white women in the elevator and clutching their purse. They're clutching the little purse from the black man because they think that, but you're also, you have the audacity to be racist. That makes me want to fight you, right? Because it makes no sense. Racism makes no sense. But at the end of the day, it is here. And they're just like scared. Like, oh my gosh, you thought that she wouldn't get nuck if you buck, but she did. And they're like, oh my gosh. And that's really the start of really how racism really is. Some of them get buck and get out the hell out. And some of them get buck with their racism. They get bucked with their racism. But then when you get bucked with them, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's exactly what happened. There was fear. There's fear in those white women's eyes. They're like, oh my gosh, she's acting out. You expect someone to act in if you are acting out towards them? No. Woman? No. That doesn't make any sense. Tell me, how? You're afraid of me? No. I'm afraid of you. Not even afraid in a way like, oh, I'm scared. I'm afraid that I'm going to knock your ass out. And if you call the cops, that the cops going to do something to me. That's the reality that we're going to stop. That's the reality. But yeah, I can already see that I'm going to have some fun with the show. I'm going to have some fun with these reviews. Because I am going to go here. Up here. Because one thing I do love is seeing a nuck of you buck black person towards a white person. And I see the horror elements. That's what I love. In it too. That's going to make this show more interesting to me. And it's just going to be awesome. That's what it is. My second episode review should be up soon. And I really like how this incident happened. I'm just going to say one time. How this incident happened with Johnathan Pentland. It's like right down the street from me pretty much. And I went up and shouted out. Happened while I watched this episode about some prejudiced white people. You don't belong here. No, I belong here. And I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand how you white people think that you can't just think that no black person should be living somewhere nice. And there's a lot of black people out there that makes way more money than you. Even the president that you guys hated, Barack Obama, way more money than you. You gonna think Barack Obama is in the wrong neighborhood? No, y'all know who he is. I'm talking. Okay, let me think about someone that a lot of white people won't know. Just an upcoming rapper that has spikes, and they're in that white neighborhood, and they're like predominantly white neighborhood. How are you? You don't live here. Yes, I do. Cause I have more money than you, probably. But see you next review. Bye bye.